Good morning, students. This is value education period. Today we are going to see lesson 9. Okay, lesson 9. I love India. Lesson 9. I love India. Okay, everyone, close your eyes. Close your eyes and imagine. Okay, close your eyes. You often see t-shirts with the words I love India printed on them. Okay, you see some t-shirts that has one word like that, I love India, like that you see, right? What do you think this means? What is the meaning of I love India? Do you know? And how much do you know about your country? Getting to know your country is the first step towards developing a deep love for it. Okay, first you should know about your country and what was the thing or in country. Okay, you should know about your country. Okay, in India, it has a variety of plants, animals, and birds. Okay, in India, it has many variety of plants, animals, and birds. So these are part of our natural wealth. Okay, these are part of our natural wealth. So what we have to do, we must take care for them and protect them. Okay, we must care for them and protect them. Now we are going to see about how the people of India have been living in harmony with animals and birds since in ancient times. Okay, today we are going to see about our country wealth of animals and birds and all. Okay, so our animal wealth, in 2003 there was some exciting news from India for scientists around the world. In 2003 there was some exciting news. Okay, they are telling some exciting news from India to all the scientists around the world. Okay, it was the discovery of a new species of monkey. It was the discovery of a new species of monkey. Monkey has many varieties. Okay, that is a one kind of species. So they are discovered about one new species of monkey, which was later named the Arunachal macaque. Okay, the monkey name was Arunachal macaque. Okay, in India we are discovered one new species of monkey. So the name was Arunachal macaque. Okay, the new monkey was discovered by a group of international scientists in the forest of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, the monkey was discovered in the forest of Arunachal Pradesh. So that named as the Arunachal macaque. Macaque means is also monkey. Okay, so this monkey is discovered from forest which is in Arunachal Pradesh. That is the Arunachal Pradesh in one of India's northeastern state. Okay, Arunachal Pradesh was one of India's northeastern state. This Arunachal macaque, which is big and brown with a short tail. Okay, this monkey, it's look like very big and brown, which has only a short tail. Okay, the name is Arunachal macaque, which is big and brown with a short tail. And an orange brown tuft of fur on its head. In its head it has some fur. It has like fur means hair. Okay, brown color hair in his head. So had never been seen by scientists before. Scientists never see this kind of monkey before. But the tribal people of Arunachal Pradesh had always known the monkey's existence. They are already known about this monkey's existence. The tribal peoples, the ancient peoples. Okay, the tribal people of Arunachal Pradesh had always known the monkey's existence. they call it the Manzala. They call it the monkey as Manzala. Manzala means monkey of the deep forest. The monkey which is live in deep forest. So they are named as a Manzala. They call it the monkey name as Manzala, but we will say Arunachal macaque too. Okay. So based on that, they tell stories and sing songs and write poetry about it, about this Manzala. Okay. So when the Manzala rides their barley and paddy fields, they shoo it away. When the Manzala rides their barley and paddy fields, they shoo it away. Shoo it means they just make it go away. They just make the monkey go away from the field by the sound of shoo. We will say, right, to go away someone or something, shoo, make the sound like that. So, when the Manzala rides their barley and paddy fields, they shoo it away. Similarly, people all over India have lived in close touch with nature and animals for many generations. Okay, people all over India have lived in close touch with nature and animals for many generations. In prehistoric times, in olden times, thousands of years ago, people in India painted pictures of the animals. Okay. In olden times, people what will do? They are painted the pictures, what they saw, or they will hunted some animals, right? So they just draw it on the wall. So most of them just draw the pictures of animals, what they saw, or they were hunted, or they were admired about the animals, or they may fear, like that. So some animals, they are considered as they are worshipping the animals. So in prehistoric times, in thousands of years ago, people in India painted the pictures of animals they saw, hunted, admired, feared and worshipped. So what they are doing with these animals, they are just draw it on a wall or in a cave, something else. Many of these paintings can be even today in a group of caves in the Vindhya mountains. Okay, many of these paintings can be even seen today in a group of caves in the Vindhya mountains. Okay, this kind of paintings we can see in a Vindhya mountains. Okay. So these cave paintings show that our ancestors know about animals like bison, antelopes, tigers, horses, bears and many others. So from that what we understand students? From these cave paintings, our ancestors know about these kind of animals. Like what kind of animals they have? No, bison, antelopes, tigers, horses, bears and many others. Okay, even they know about birds. The birds and beasts of our country are depicted in our literature, paintings, sculptures and crafts. They are drawing about birds too. Okay, so the birds and beasts of our country are depicted in our literature, paintings, sculptures and crafts. Okay, so from that what we understand, in our country there is a tradition of protecting animals and birds. Okay, what they do at the ancient times, our ancestors always having one tradition, that is protecting animals and birds. They are giving respect to this kind of animals and birds. Like Gautama Buddha, the founder of Buddhism. Okay, you know about Gautama Buddha, right? He is the founder of Buddhism. So he taught that all creatures must be treated kindly. He said like that. He thought all creatures, whatever it is, animal or a bird, whatever, or what is anything. So you should treated as kindly. Okay, so Gautama Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, taught that all creatures must be treated kindly. Okay, and the same way Ashoka, he is a king. Ashoka, he is one greatest king, right? So Ashoka, one of our greatest king, he laid down rules. He make one rule to protect the animals, and same time he even set up parks for them. Okay, Ashoka, we know about Ashoka, right? He is a greatest king. So he make one rule to protect the animals, and he even set up parks for them. And the same way, the Mahabharata, do you know about Mahabharata, right? The Mahabharata wants, what it tells, do not cut down the forest with its tigers. What they said, do not cut down the forest with its tigers. He said, do not cut down the forest with its tigers. Okay, and again he said, and do not banish the tiger from the forest. Banish means vanish something like that. So he said, do not cut down the forest with its tigers. At the same time, do not banish the tiger from the forest. So which makes the tiger perishes without the forest, right? Perishes means do make someone die or make destroy. So this is the meaning of perishes. Okay, so the tiger perishes, the tiger will die, or the tiger will die without forest, right? So forest must need a tiger. So the tiger perishes without the forest, and the forest perishes without its tiger, right? At the same time, forest also will destroy without its tigers. So perishes means make someone die, or in the meaning of make it destroy. So that's the same meaning in the under perishes. So what he said in Mahabharata, the tiger perishes without the forest, and the forest perishes without its tigers. So therefore the tiger should stand guard over the forest, and the forest should protect all its tigers. So vice versa, we should understand tiger should stand for forest. Okay, forest protect the tiger. So both each and everyone needs both. So tiger needs forest, at the same time forest needs tiger. So don't destroy both. Okay, this is told by Mahabharata. And Mahavira, the Jain saint, believed strongly in ahimsa. We all know about Mahavira, right? So the Mahavira, the Jain saint, believed strongly in ahimsa or non-violence. So he preached that no one should harm any living creature. He was preached means he is showing his in activity too. Okay, preached means he just show by the way he is do it. Okay, so Mahavira, the Jain saint, believed strongly in ahimsa or non-violence. He preached that no one should harm any living creature. Even today, Jains follow his teaching of non-violence. Even today also, Jains follow his teaching of non-violence. Okay, India is proud of its animals' wealth and has a tradition of protecting it. We should be proud because our ancestors is protecting our animals, and we have very good animal wealth. Okay, so let us understand. Did you know that out of every 100 types of plants in this world, about 10 are found in India? Okay, many plants we have in India. That only they are trying to say. So 100 types of plants in this world. Every 100 types of plants in this world, about 10, okay, 10 are found in India. Unfortunately, not many Indians are aware that they live in a country considered one of the richest in plant and animal resources. Okay, most of them never understand about our Indian wealth. Unfortunately, many Indians are aware that they live in country, they have many plants and animal resources. Unlike our ancestors who consider plants and animals sacred, we have been careless with our country's wealth. Right? We are now polluting our water and we just deforestation. So, we never care about our natural wealth. Right? So, we have spoiled our forest. Unlike our ancestors, they are protecting their animal wealth and birds and nature. But what we do now? We are deforestation. We are done a deforestation. So, cutting down trees and we just pollute the water. These are things nowadays we are doing now. So, we have spoiled our forest. We have made our birds and animals homeless. Right? By cutting down trees, what will do? Our birds and animals will be homeless. Forest is the home for birds and animals, right? At the same time, we even kill animals for sport, just for fun. We just kill animals like that for a basis of hunting or just like that. We just kill the animals for even single fun. So it's not right. Today, the animal and plant wealth of our country is in great danger. Okay, today the animal and plant wealth of our country is in great danger. So you will never see the cheetah, right? Nowadays you can't able to see the cheetah wherever. And you can't able to see the another one, the pink-headed duck. Can you ever see this kind of pink-headed duck? And many other animals that are now extinct in India. There is no in India nowadays. And see, there are many animals extinct from the world. Perhaps your grandchildren will not see many other wonderful creatures that you can still look at. Okay. Your grandchildren will not see, if you're doing like the same thing again and again, your grandchildren will not see many other wonderful creatures. I mean, our future people never see this kind of nature things if you're doing the same polluting things. So, that you can still look at. Okay, if we don't take care of them, should we not share India with our fellow creatures? Okay. From that, what we understand, we should love animals and we should protect animals and birds. Okay. And we should love our India. Thank you.